This is not just another Final Fantasy VII clone. Back in 1999, Sony decided that they were tired of Square getting all the JRPG glory and dropped The Legend of Dragoon, a 4-disc epic built like Final Fantasy Smackdown, but with way more button mashing in the combat. It had anime-level style drama, over-the-top transformations, and enough FMVs to make your PlayStation sound like it was about to lift off. Critics at the time, they called it slow, clunky, a wannabe. Players, they bought over 1 million copies anyway because it looked cool and made you feel like a god every time you went Dragoon. Fast forward to now. While some RPGs age like milk, Legend of Dragoon still struts its stuff with the winged armor like it owns the place. Alright, so there's one thing that Legend of Dragoon does better than any other RPG on PlayStation. If you remember, most RPGs are you pick your character, you attack, you swing, and boom, that's it. But Legend of Dragoon's like, nah, that's boring. And it gave us one of the most unique mechanics of battle systems, and that's the additions. Additions are basically timed button combos that trigger every time you do a normal attack. When you press the attack button, a square appears, and then another box starts closing in on it. But if you miss it, you're only going to do a small smidgen of damage. Sometimes enemies will try to counter your addition mid-combo. When that happens, the box turns into a red circle, and you've got to hit the button again to stop the counter. If you miss it, the enemy's going to cancel your attack and smack you right smack dab in the middle of the face. I'll be real with you. Whenever I played this game for the first time as a teenager, it kicked my ass. I could not land the additions to save my life. Each character has their own unique set of additions, minus 2 characters, Miranda and Shauna. They are interchangeable because Miranda takes Shauna's place later on in the game. Spoiler! And they are the bow user, which I always thought it was kind of stupid that they never gave them additions, because whenever you're in the hero competition, there's this dude that actually uses a bow and arrow, and he literally pinpoints like your bodily function parts. So they could have did something with Shauna or Miranda, but they just were too lazy, I guess. But anyway, that's just me talking down. Now, one other thing that is very pivotal that you understand is that in order to get the final edition for each of your characters, you must level up every single edition prior to that to level 80, level 5 max in order to unlock it. If not, you're screwed. So let me show you what all the additions are for each character. Dart starts off with the classic double slash, moves into Burning Rush, and eventually gets to some wild multi-hit combos like Madness Hero, which is one that I typically struggle with and one of the hardest ones for me to actually still hit. Rose, on the other hand, keeps it classy. Whip Smack is just one hit, but it's strong, simple, and reliable. She's kind of like the easy move for players who struggle with timing. Me being one of those players, whenever I first played Legend of Dragoon a long time ago, I remember vividly using her a lot. And then there's Albert and Lavitz. These guys are the DDR champs. Gust of Wind Dance will test your reflexes and your patience. If you can master it, the damage payoff is massive. And I remember I could never do the Gust of Wind Dance my very first playthrough of LOD. Miru is the speedy one of the bunch. Her additions like Double Smack and Hammer Spin come out lightning fast, which means they can be tricky to pull off if you're not focused. But once you nail them, she's landing tons of hits in a flash. She feels almost like a glass cannon, high speed, high risk, high reward. Haschel is the martial artist, and his additions are some of the most satisfying to land. Stuff like the Hex Hammer and Flurry of Sticks make you feel like you're chaining fighting game combos. The cool part is that they evolve alongside him. You actually unlock new additions that reflect his training and discipline. And then there's Big Boy Kongo. He doesn't mess around with flashy combos. He's pure raw strength. His additions like Inferno and Bone Crush are short and heavy, but they land and it feels like a truck just smashed an enemy. He's the powerhouse of the team. As if the additions weren't already cool enough, Legend of Dragoon takes it up to the next level with the Dragoon transformations. And honestly, I'm talking Sailor Moon style. You stop the mid-battle, and then boom, a magical transformation appears right before your eyes, and it's grandeur, and it is cool as shit. Dart's Dragoon transformation is pure firepower, literally. When he transforms, he goes full Fire Dragoon mode. Wings, glowing armor, the whole dramatic anime moment. It's like the game says, alright, now it's time to wreck shit. Once in Dragoon form, Dart gains access to some of the most iconic Dragoon magic in the entire game. Flame Shot is your bread and butter attack, quick and fiery, while Final Burst is the ultimate nuke. Rose's Dragoon form is one of the coolest in the game. When she transforms into the Darkness Dragoon, her whole vibe just screams elegance and menace. The armor, the giant dark wings, the works. She really looks like that she can be on a gothic metal album cover. In her magic, the standout for me is Astral Drain, which heals your whole party. It's insanely useful, but I gotta be honest, the animation straight up looks like Rose as well. Pissing healing energy all over the squad. It's weird, but hey, nobody's complaining when their health bar is shot back up. Now this one's a bit special because it starts off with Lavitz, the knight from the beginning of the game. He's the original Wind Dragoon, but after, well, let's just say story events happen, the spirit passes to King Albert and he takes up the role. The big highlight here is Rose Storm. This spell buffs the whole party's defense, and honestly, it might be one of the most broken support skills in the entire game. There are boss fights where the difference between victory and a party wipeout is whether you got Rose Storm off in time. Haschel is Legend of Dragoon's answer to Master Roshi. He's the wise, battle-hardened teacher type with enough energy to still throw hands like he's in a tournament. The man's fists are registered natural disasters. His magic is pure static electricity. Thunder Kid is a quick zap to warm things up. Thunder God cranks it up a notch with a spear of lightning straight from the heavens. The screen lights up like an anime finale, thunderbolts raining down everywhere. If Master Roshi had a thunder power Kamehameha, this would be it. Miru's already the hyperactive ball of chaos in the group, and when she transforms into the Blue Sea Dragoon, it's like watching Sailor Moon and Elsa fuse into one character with way too much sugar in their system. Her Dragoon armor is sleek and icy, her wings shimmer with crystal, and the whole transformation screams magical anime ooh girl. The magical girl that also bonked you on the head with a giant hammer. Her signature spell is Diamond Dust. She twirls around, sparks fly everywhere, and then she freezes everything in sight before blowing it all up into a shiny ice shards. It's part ice skating routine and part war crime. Ongo is already the biggest dude in the party. He's basically a walking brick wall with an axe. But when he transforms into the Golden Dragoon, it's like the dev said, what if we gave the Hulk fairy wings? His armor gleams gold, his body doubles in intimidation, and then if you notice those delicate little wings flapping on his backside, like Tinkerbell on steroids, majestic, terrifying, and hilarious all at once. His magic matches his ridiculous energy. Meteor Strike drops a huge earth attack like Mother Nature just got pissed off. Up front, I don't like either of these two. Shauna looks all angelic in her glowing armor and wings, but she doesn't even do additions. She just tosses some light magic around and acts like it's enough. Spoiler, it's not. And then Miranda shows up and is basically Shauna 2.0 but with more attitude. Same spell, same Dragoon, just slightly sassier, still not fun to play. Moonlight is an angelic duct tape for your party's health bars, and Gates of Heaven is basically calling in God to clean up their mess. I don't really collect a lot of OSTs for games, but for Legend of Dragoon, I made the exception because it's my favorite PS1 game of all time, and plus this was a gift to me as well from a good friend of mine. The menu music. Don't roll your eyes at me. This is important. It's calm, melodic, and so soothing. It's basically like a lullaby for stressed out warriors. Battle theme in this game is absolute chaos audio form. Pounding of drums, dramatic strings, industrial vibes. It's like someone strapped on a drum kit to a jet engine and yelled, "Go fight some monsters!" The most important aspect to me whenever it comes to an RPG is the story. I look for plot twists, character development, the drama, and Legend of Dragoon has every single bit of that. Now, I do want to forewarn you about this. It does take a little bit to get into the story with the game. So you're going to be wandering around, searching the lands, but once those dragons come in, it kicks up into high gear. You start off with Dart, our main guy, whose life gets torn apart when his hometown is destroyed, and his childhood friend Shauna gets kidnapped. On top of that, Dart's carrying his huge personal mission. He's searching for the Black Monster, the mysterious figure responsible for wiping out his entire family. The revenge quest is always sitting in the background, shaping why he fights and pushing him forward. Lavitz, Dart's first real party member and honestly his ride or die. From the second he shows up, it feels less like you recruited a knight and more like you just unlocked bromance mode. These two don't just fight together, they bond like brothers. Lavitz is loyal, funny, and always has Dart's back, whether it's on the battlefield or cracking a joke when things get heavy. Rose is the queen of mystery in this game. She shows up, says about 3 words, and somehow these 3 words are either life or death serious or sarcastic enough to shut the entire party down. She's basically the original too cool for this group RPG character. What makes her great, though, is how much weight she carries in the story. She's calm, powerful, and always 3 steps ahead. As things unfold, you realize she's connected to the world's biggest secrets. Every time you think that you've got her figured out, the game pulls the rug out under you and drops another reveal that makes you go, oh shit, that's why she's been brooding in the corner for about 20 hours. Shauna, well, she's a complicated one. She's the classic damsel in distress for a big chunk of the game, which means she spends a lot of time getting kidnapped, rescued, or showing up just to give everyone emotional motivation. Honestly, she can be kind of a headache, but she's also central to the story. Without her, there's no reason for Dart or the party to even start their adventure. Haschel's gruff, stubborn, and full of occasional comedic antics, but beneath all that, he's driven by a deeply personal mission. Searching for his daughter, who ran away years ago, he spent years wandering, training, fighting, all while trying to track her down, which gives his tough exterior a real sense of purpose. His humor, tough love attitude, and emotional moments make him more than just a fighter. He can make you laugh, groan, even tear up in the same scene, which is exactly why that makes him such a memorable part of the party. Before anyone says anything, yes, I skipped Miru, Kongal, and Miranda, but I did that for a reason. I want you to discover them for yourself. That's the beauty of Legend of Dragoon, is discovering what quirks characters have, and your reaction will be better than mine. And that's my deep dive on Legend of Dragoon. From the Dragoon transformations to the story to the unforgettable characters, what are you waiting for? Grab a controller and get to play in Legend of Dragoon! But that's all the time for you that I have, my friends. But until next time, this is the place that's your girl signing out. Game on!